It's no secret that young people are less involved in government than people older than them. If you don't believe me, then let's look at an example. In our county, there are 17,393 registered voters ages 18 to 24, compared to 35,523 ages 25 to 34, and 51,547 ages 65 and up. Look, this is just one example, but the moral of the story is that young people are just less involved in politics and government than people who are older than them. Now, let me make it very clear that this doesn't necessarily mean that young people don't care about politics or are unaware of politics. It simply means that they're less active. All of this aside, the fact is that young people are a vital part of our political system, and local government especially. This raises the question, how can we get young people more involved in our local government? Well, lucky for you, I came here prepared. To get young people more engaged in local government and politics, we need to be able to spark interest in them. Interest is sparked in a lot of ways, but it happens especially in our educational system. That brings me to my first point. We need more education about local government in our schools. Schools are a fantastic place to get students engaged in our local government. The purpose of schools is to educate, and I can't think of a better way to introduce local government to young people. Schools teach about the federal government from elementary school all the way to high school. However, there is a shockingly low amount of education in schools about local government. I can tell you from my personal experience, and I'm currently a sophomore, that I've had an abundance of education about our federal government. However, I've had no education on our local government, such as how it operates, why it's important. If we want to get young people more engaged in local government, it starts with more education on it in our schooling system. This will get the attention and interest of young people on how our local government operates, and in turn will get them more engaged in our local government. My suggestion to schools is that they ingrain local government into their Common Core curriculum at least a little bit, to give an overview to students on how their local government works. In addition, at the high school or middle school level, schools should offer an elective focusing on local government. Moving on, another great way to get young people involved in local government is youth councils. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with what youth councils are, I'll give you the rundown. Youth councils are pretty much a group composed of young people who meet and act as advisors to the government. In more detail, youth councils meet regularly and are a place for young people to discuss issues concerning politics or the community. Youth councils often run service projects to help resolve issues throughout their local area or country. They're an excellent way of allowing youth to voice their opinions to political officials and get them more involved in local politics. Youth councils have been proved to be very positive for a community and give youth empowerment, knowledge, and purpose. Youth councils are an excellent way for the community to see a different perspective and take on an issue that is sometimes unbiased and more clear than the perspectives given by older officials. One example of this happened in central Kenya. A youth council was established to give visibility, credibility, and voice to youth in the Maasai pastoralist community. The youth council sought solutions to problems facing young people in the Mukogodu division in central Kenya. Many of the challenges the community faced were rooted in cultural traditions and practices, such as existing leadership structure dominated by elders who believed youth should not be included in decision-making processes. This is just one example, but the fact is that youth councils allow youth to attempt to solve problems from a much different and sometimes better perspective than those older than them. The fact is that we have a very diverse country in many ways, and age is one of them. We need to use this to our advantage by understanding and taking in many angles and solutions to problems. We will, in turn, solve these problems quicker and more efficiently. If you still don't believe me that youth councils are effective, we already have a precedent of youth councils working well in our local area. There's already a youth council in Lacey. The youth council acts as a direct informant and advisor to the city of Lacey. The youth council started in 2019 and is still active today. Furthermore, we need a large social media presence promoting youth involvement in government. As you all probably know, almost all young people are on social media nowadays. 90% of teens ages 13 to 17 use social media in our present world. This being said, one of the best ways to promote youth involvement in local government is to promote it in a spot that is easily accessible and viewable to youth. In this case, social media. A social media face for youth involvement will be extremely useful. Thurston County has wonderful opportunities for youth government involvement that just aren't well enough known. For example, as mentioned in the previous paragraph, Thurston County has an existing youth council in Lacey. In addition, Thurston County has a youth development program, a Colors of Justice program, the Thurston County Youth Win program, and so much more. I'm sure that you're all not familiar with every single one of these programs, and that is precisely why we need a social media platform explaining and promoting programs like these to youth. I wasn't even aware of any of these opportunities until I did deliberate searching for them. A social media platform specifically dedicated to youth involvement in local government will educate and attract the attention of youth who want to be involved in their local government. We have the ability to get young people more involved in local government by promoting youth programs and making youth people more aware of the ways that they can involve themselves in local government. We can get to the point where we have an active youth participation in our local government. This is an achievable goal, and by taking the right steps, we can make this a reality. I hope you all took something away from this speech, and I thank you for listening.